I am recording this on November 9th, 2016, the day after the presidential election. And let me just say, I woke up this morning to quite a surprise. And over the course of the day, there's been, oh, oh, well, that's what I'm here to talk about. To the Republicans and the Donald Trump voters, congratulations, you won. Don't gloat, don't belittle, don't degrade anybody. You made your voice heard. You went out and you voted. Everyone else is going through a hard time. Understand why. Remember how you were 8 years ago and 4 years ago when Obama won. So just be gracious. To the Hillary Clinton voters and Democrats, you lost. Don't despair. This isn't the end of the world, even though some days it might feel like it. Remember Republicans 8 years ago when Obama won, how they said America would burn and crumble under a communist regime. Look at how wrong they were. Just think back in 4 years, maybe even 8 years, who knows, that, maybe you were wrong too. I look at Obama's acceptance speech, and he was quite gracious. And surprisingly, if you go back and you look at his RNC acceptance speech, he was also quite gracious then. I know a lot of you are scared. I can kind of understand that. Truthfully, I don't fully understand it. I'm never proclaimed to be liberal, no minority. I'm not LGBT. So I'll never fully understand, your fear in this situation, but I can still sympathize with you. I have friends who said some, frankly, pretty nasty and divisive things after this election who are liberal. Don't blame it. Don't blame it on the Trump voters. They have a voice. They made it heard. Don't blame it on the third-party voters. We had a voice, and we made it heard. I've seen a lot of people saying, third party, this wasn't your election to vote. Well, it's always our election to vote third party. It's our right as American citizens. Just remember that we have a voice too, and we want to make it heard. I can see why you'd be upset by that, but just remember, even if the third party had voted in the two-party way, there's still no guarantee it would have been Clinton. Don't be too upset about the popular vote. It's happened 3 times before this. Major difference between this one and that one is those 3 times, the person who won the popular vote won it by a majority. Even if you say, hey, look, Hillary Clinton has more. She has more by a few 100,000 in a nation of 300 million. It's less than 1%. And she didn't even get a majority. She only got a plurality. She and Trump both got 47.5. So I'm sorry some of you feel the way you do. Many of you have been very gracious. And just know, if you're looking for a friend, if you, we're still here for you. Just because I voted one way, just because I didn't agree with your politics, doesn't mean I still don't love you. You're my friends, and I know some of you feel betrayed by your friends who didn't vote the same way as you, but not all of us are the same, and we have different reasons for voting the way we do. To those who voted third party, don't despair either. I'm right there with you. It's a little weird. Usually, many times today I've heard if you voted third party, you threw your vote away. You threw it to you threw it to Trump. I've heard that many times today. But I've also heard in the past that, past elections, we were always told, oh, you threw it to Obama. This is nothing new to us. The only thing new to us, third-party voters, is who's doing the yelling this time. For my entire voting life, I've voted third party, and I was accused of letting Obama win. This year, I'm being accused of letting Trump win. It will always be the same, but we can only hope that what we've done is similarly made our voices heard. Perhaps the two parties will change their ways, and perhaps we can be brought back into that two-party fold. Perhaps they won't, and perhaps we will be forced to rise even further and made our voices even further heard. So, yeah, that's where we're at today. Seeing a lot of divisiveness, seeing a lot of anger and rage and fear, seeing some elation, seeing a bunch of shoulder shrugging. Let's face it, this is one of the most unpopular elections in the history of the US. To those of you in fear, I say, don't. It's that simple. Don't unfriend everyone. Don't make any rash decisions. Don't belittle people, because, one of the things you were so afraid of is the most vocal supporters of the Trump camp belittling you. Don't give in to that. No, you stand strong. You say, I made my voice heard. Everyone else made their voice heard.